In the fast-paced world of professional tennis, few players have captured the public's imagination quite like Boris Becker. From his meteoric rise to fame as a teenage prodigy, to his dramatic fall from grace in the wake of personal and financial scandals, Becker's career has been nothing short of a roller coaster ride. Join us on today's episode of Forehand Frenzy, as we explore the highs, lows, twists, turns, and everything in between along this legendary athlete's journey. When Boris Becker won the Wimbledon championship at the young age of 17 in 1985, his name was on everyone's lips. Crowds followed the popular young champion around upon his return to Germany, vying just to glimpse their hero, who seemingly had already achieved tennis immortality. His aggressive playing style and strong serve had made him a fan favorite, and he went on to win 6 Grand Slam titles during his career. When he first appeared on the scene, he was only a teenager, but he soon established himself as one of the sport's top athletes. His victory at Wimbledon in 1985 was significant because he became the youngest person ever to win a Grand Slam trophy. The fact that Becker went on to win 5 more Grand Slam championships was attributed to his skill, drive, work ethic, and gritty character, and reminded the world that far from being a joker or a flash-in-the-pan performer, Becker was a seriously dedicated champion and a ruthless competitor. Becker's play style contributed significantly to his success. His aggressive net game was set up by his well-known strong serve. On any court, his quickness in getting to the net and finishing points made him a tough opponent. He quickly became a fan favorite because of his aggressive play, which differed from the more passive baseline style that many players favored at the time. Boris's persona was just as captivating off the court as it was on. He was suave and self-assured, and the media loved him for his handsome appearance, roguish charm, and witty personality. He was frequently spotted with various attractive women, and his high-profile relationships with models and actors only served to increase his notoriety. Public interest has fixated on Boris Becker's private life for over 30 years. He has 4 children and has been married twice. His first marriage to German-American model Barbara Feltus ended in divorce in 2001. 2 sons were born to the couple. Later, in 2009, Becker wed Dutch model Lily Kersenberg. The couple welcomed a son in 2010. They have a daughter together from Lily's previous union as well, and Boris had an affair while his first wife was going into labor. As a result of these high-profile relationships and messy romantic entanglements, Becker's private life has frequently been the focus of tabloid speculation. Becker played at a high level well into his 30s despite various setbacks. In 1995, he advanced to the Wimbledon semifinals, in 1996 and 1997, the quarterfinals. During this time, he also prevailed in several smaller competitions, including the 1995 and 1996 Queen's Club Championships, which traditionally are played towards the start of the grass court season. But as far as tennis success was concerned, Becker's fortunes started to reverse as the 1990s decade drew to a close. His body began to suffer from injuries, and he found it difficult to maintain the concentration and form that had epitomized his career's earlier performances as the world's most dominant player. His standing started to decline, and he stopped being the formidable force he had been just a few short years earlier. After much soul-searching, Becker declared his retirement from the tennis world in 1999. Even though he was only 32 years old, his ranking had already slipped to 110th in the world, and he hadn't claimed a Grand Slam title in 3 years. Despite a disappointing conclusion to a stellar career, Becker had changed the game irrevocably. Boris's love of tennis and deep knowledge of the sport would express themselves differently as his life continued. For several television networks, including the BBC and Sky Sports, he has provided insightful commentary. In addition, he has experience in management and coaching. From 2013 to 2016, he served as Novak Djokovic's head coach. Many people overlook Boris's contribution to Novak's success. However, the Serbian player gained the top ranking in the world and won 6 Grand Slam titles while working closely with Boris Becker. As many people know, Becker's career after tennis has not been without its difficulties. He declared bankruptcy in 2017 and blamed a huge amount of debt as the cause of his actions. In addition, he has been accused of tax evasion and has been involved in a series of highly publicized legal battles. He was later given a 6-month suspended sentence for failing to disclose his property holdings and assets contained within certain accounts during his bankruptcy proceedings. In early 2022, Boris was sentenced to a 2.5 years jail term for hiding £2.5 million worth of assets and loans to avoid paying debts owed to HMRC and various banks. Boris qualified for automatic deportation, however, because he is a foreign national who does not have British citizenship. As a result, he received a custodial sentence of about 8 months' duration. He would normally have been required to serve at least 15 months before being eligible for release. However, he was reportedly freed early as part of a program aimed at easing pressure on Britain's overcrowded prison system. The upshot of this release is that Boris is now forbidden from returning to the UK for an as-yet undisclosed period of time. So anyone expecting his droll, cheery brand of Wimbledon commentary during live televised coverage at SW19 this year might be in for a rude awakening. However, it is rumored that Roger Federer may be commentating in 2023, which is a coup for the BBC. The brilliant tennis career of Becker has been overshadowed in many ways by his struggles. Although he is still a well-liked figure in the tennis community, his legal and financial issues have soured public perceptions of him. Nonetheless, there is no denying his influence on the game. One of the most dominant players of his time, Becker's aggressive playing style revolutionized the sport. He encouraged a generation of tennis players to play the game more aggressively, and his influence can still be felt in the way the sport is played today. The numerous records and career milestones Becker attained are further evidence of his legacy. He remains the only unseeded Wimbledon champion and the youngest player to ever win a Grand Slam tournament. He is the only German to have won Wimbledon more than once, and he is one of only 4 men to have captured Grand Slam victories on grass, clay, and hard courts. Nevertheless, despite his many successes, Becker was also reviled for his antics on the court, which included smashing rackets and yelling at referees. Additionally, he got into a lot of well-publicized fights with other athletes, including a nasty spat with Andre Agassi. The fact that Becker was known for being a ladies' man also attracted attention, and his numerous romantic relationships were frequently the focus of tabloid speculation. In hindsight, it is evident that Becker's ascent to the pinnacle of men's professional tennis and subsequent fall from grace were both meteoric. His financial struggles and personal issues, along with his injuries, caused a dramatic and unanticipated decline in his playing career. Becker is still regarded as one of the sport's most influential figures, despite the difficulties he overcame. He will be regarded as one of the greatest players of his generation because of how he played, who he was as a person, and all of the things he accomplished. As we wrap up today's special episode of Forehand Frenzy, it is impossible to avoid being struck by the sheer power of Becker's personality when reviewing his career. On and off the court, he was a legendary figure, and his charisma and self-assurance made him a natural leader. He was a fiercely competitive player as well, and his never-give-up attitude enabled him to triumph in situations or games that many lesser players would long since have abandoned or lost. In addition to his playing style, Becker had a significant influence on tennis by encouraging a new generation of young players to play with more aplomb and tenacity. Boris Becker's tennis career was a contrast-filled case study. Amazing speed and ease propelled him to the top of the sport, but his abrupt and dramatic fall from grace was no less spectacular. Despite his many successes, Becker's legacy has been marred by his financial and personal struggles, but his influence on tennis is still undeniable and can still be felt in the way the game is played today. His passion motivated a generation of players to play with more aggression, precision, and power than ever before. As one of the all-time greats of the game, Becker will always be revered, and tennis players of upcoming generations will continue to be motivated by his legacy. Despite the tumultuous ride, history will remember Boris Becker as one of the greatest tennis players to grace the court. So as we close the book on his story, we can only marvel at the unforgettable moments and search our own hearts and lives. Are we living passionately like Boris, or are we hiding our candle under a rock? Perhaps if we look closely, we can glean key lessons of tenacity, trial, truth, and triumph from the highs and lows, the twists and turns, and the rise and the fall of Boris Becker's tennis career. Thanks for watching today's video. Which part of Boris's story was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting tennis content.